not be waiting until we come to you next week. If we take the issues of sexual abuse and child sexual abuse serious, the IG should have done it. But since they want us to do it, by next week we will make the demand officially that it be transferred to the competent unit that also is manned by a very honorable and disciplined police officer, a deputy commissioner of police, Mrs. Margaret Ochala. At that point, we can go to sleep and give them evidence. But this particular FCT police command, I can tell you, how else do you lose faith in a police if the medical reports of the death of our child is denied her access to by the police? We cannot trust them enough to deal with them. But we are waiting for the Human Rights Commission, we are waiting for the Social Services Secretariat, and we are waiting for the IG. As soon as the right thing is done, we will give them what we have and we will share intelligence with them. That is what we can do for now. Thank you. I hope I answered all. Did I leave any out?
I've read most of what Premier Academy has put up in the papers, and most of the accounts of whatever they're giving is really not true. I will just go over what happened again. I'll just go over what happened again. On 18th of June, it was a Friday, 2021, my daughter called me. She had already sent a message via Instagram that she wants us to come and pick her at about 5:30 that day. But later in the afternoon, she called me using her English teacher's phone, Mrs. Blessing, and told me that she would like us to come and pick her on Friday. But Mrs. Blessing said, if we come to pick her Friday, she will be in trouble. So Saturday being a cold day, I can come and pick her on Saturday. So Saturday morning, I called the metron. And from their accounts, they said she was the one that reached out to me on Friday. But that's not true. I was the one that reached out to her on Saturday morning and told her my daughter said she has a red eye and I would like to come and pick her. And she told me that they've been giving her allergy eye drops, but it's not clearing. I said no, it's not a thing of allergy. She has astigmatism. So I would really like to come and take her for a checkup. But she also said that if I take her out on that day, they will place her on isolation when she comes back. And that will be for 7 days, and she wouldn't be mixing up with her friends, she won't go to school, she will just be in the clinic for the next 7 days. And I did not want that. So she suggested that I pay 5,000 naira for logistics into the school account. And then they will bring her to me at the clinic I choose, and then after treatment they will take her back. That way she wouldn't have to stay in isolation. I agreed to that and paid the money and sent her a message with the address of the clinic. At about past 10, she called me that they are on the way to the clinic. So when I got to the clinic, they had come and I saw my daughter with one of the nurses from the school, Mrs. Jochebed Williams, another English teacher, Mrs. Joyce Matis, or something like that. And then there was another student in the car too. So when my daughter asked, why didn't I come to pick her, I told her the school said she would stay in isolation. And she quickly told me that that's not true. That the girl in the car was given an exit to go and attend her mom's birthday. So I started thinking, but I told her, just come, let's attend to you. After they had attended to her, she was to go back with them. She now started crying that mommy, are you leaving me to go with these people again? And I told her, no, go back to school since you didn't pack your things and you don't have an exit. I will secure one and come and pick you. So when they left, I called the principal and he asked if she was there with me. I said, no, she has left because I asked her to go and get her things together. The principal quickly said, okay, when you get to the school, call me. I will prepare the exit for you. I got to the school at about, because they left at about past 12. I got to the school past 1. I called the principal, he won't pick. Called the matron. She picked and told me that now they have established that it's a bacterial infection, they can take care of her. I should just go home and leave her. But I wasn't too comfortable. I called the principal again. He told me that the matron said they can take care of her. And moreover, if I take her home, she will stay 5 days in isolation. He said 5 days when she gets back. And then he quickly told me that even that girl that was given an exit, he has asked that they return her to the school. He didn't know she was going for a birthday. So at that point, I turned back. On my way back, my daughter called using the school phone and said, "Are you here?" I said, "I came, but the school turned me back." She started crying. So I was angry. I said, "Why are you crying? You should write your exams and come home. And since you want to stay at home, you'll be a day student now." So she asked to talk to my brother. After they had ended their conversation, I asked him what she said. And she said, "We don't even know why she asked that we should come and pick her. And we're leaving without her." And he also spoke with the house mother who said, "My daughter could not even walk to school on the 16th of June. That was on a Wednesday. We should disregard whatever the matron is saying and come and pick my daughter." So at that point, I asked him that we should go back and pick her. On my way back, I called them, the matron and the principal. They just won't pick my call. So I sent a text message to them, telling them that she will stay in isolation. I will pay for COVID-19. They should just, I'm not comfortable leaving her behind. They didn't reply. I kept on calling until I got to the school. I asked the security that I want to see the principal. He said, "Let me call him. I'll get back to you." He called him. He was standing right in front of me, and the principal asked who was it. So he said, "Mrs. Akbar." At that point, I don't know what they discussed, but he moved away from me. After a while, he came back, and I asked, "What did he say?" He said, "I don't know what he was saying." So I was at the gate trying to call him, trying to call her, they wouldn't pick. So at the point I had to call my sister in Makodi to please help me call the principal. She called and he wouldn't pick too. After a while, the matron called me and said, "Madam, so you still want to take your daughter?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Okay, I will discuss with the principal and then he would prepare the exit, ask someone to prepare the exit." The principal, I called him after like 30 minutes, I didn't see her. I called him and he was, "Madam, it's you that don't want me to rest you." I said, "I'm sorry, sir, but I really want to take my daughter home." He said, "Okay, I will send her out." It took over 25 to 30 minutes before she came out. And when she came out with her face in her hand. She came, stood by me and facing the wall. So when I wanted to take her out, the security man said, "No," they said, "You must provide an ID card." And I have other kids in that school. That was the first time they were asking for an ID card for me to take my daughter out. And it was also the first time that it took so long to get an exit. So my brother was, "Why are you asking for the ID card?" I said, "No, don't worry, I brought an ID card." They snapped it and they allowed me to go home with her. Immediately we got home, she went in, switched off all the lights, and I was kept on asking her, "What is it?" She said, "No, it's her eye that's paining her." We were home on Saturday. Sunday, she was home with me. But about 11 p.m., she came to me and said she had vomited. And I asked her what, she said she just vomited. So I cleaned her up. She laid on my bed. The next day, by 4:35 a.m. in the morning, she asked for water. I gave her water, but what I saw, she was delirious and all that. So I quickly prepared and took her to the hospital. So when they saw she was weak, they had to give her a drip. And because she couldn't go to urinate herself, they said they would insert a catheter. In the process, they saw a discharge. And when that discharge was tested, they said it was a condom. And then they tested her urine, said it had dead spermatozoa in it. And all this while they were trying to treat her, she kept on shouting, "Let me go, please just let me go and pee. What are you putting in me?" She kept on shouting and struggling to the point that they had to restrain her. She was like that from the morning we got there at about 6 a.m. to about 2 p.m. that afternoon, until the drugs they had given her started taking its toll. She rested, but intermittently she would shout, "Let me go, let me go." So at that point when the doctor explained this to me and told me that all the emotions she was going through, she was relieving a trauma that she had went through, I now put a call to the school matron and the principal, and I asked them to come. So I also called one of the teachers or the house fathers in the school, and I told him, he asked me, "How's your daughter now?" I said, "She's still unconscious," and he said, "She'll get better and come to us." I said, "No, I'm not bringing my daughter back to your school." I had not explained the condom or the sperm in my daughter to her. The next thing he said was that, "Madam, don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this, and whoever is responsible, so that it does not happen to other children again." That was his statement. So when the matron came finally about 3 or 4 hours, I now explained what had happened to her, and that's the conversation you just heard. We had that conversation. But throughout her stay, she said she advised me to move my daughter to another hospital. That was not true. She kept on pinching my daughter to the point I asked her, "Why are you pinching her?" And she said, "I'm just trying to see if she's still conscious." So after that, they left the hospital, and then at about 2 a.m., 2:30, the Tuesday morning, my daughter gave up the bus. The school has also said they had come to visit me. Yes, they came the day she died. They paid a condolence visit. The next day they came, they dropped a condolence letter. But then at that time, the following day they came again. Then I wasn't even in the house, I was at the mortuary. But I wouldn't allow them go into the house because already they had started posting that she died of hypoglycemia. They were not ready to tell the truth. So if they weren't ready to tell the truth, how do I relate to such people? They say the PTA had reached out to me. That's not true. It was after I buried my daughter, the PTA called that they would want to bring me a condolence visit. And I told them that I wasn't in a state of mind to receive anybody. So it's just recently they promised they'll come on Saturday. The PTA has never come to my house and I turned them back. The members of the PTA that have children that are close to my children have visited my house and I never turned them back on personal basis.
Okay, we will take questions, but something that is important to point out. There's been some what I call very cheap rumors in the